Welcome to B1 Lesson 7. Today we're going to be looking at comparative and superlative adjectives and adverbs. When I say comparative and superlative adjectives and adverbs, let's start with an adjective meaning. Reminder. Adjective, they describe a noun. When you say a fast car, this fast is describing this car. How is this car? It is fast. A beautiful city. An interesting lesson. How is the lesson? It's interesting. How is the city? It's a beautiful city. You see, this is what we call an adjective. It gives us information about the noun. What is it like? It is fast. What is it like? It's beautiful. What is it like? It's interesting. You see, simply the adjective, they give explanation of the noun. We get into now comparative adjective. What do we have here? We use comparative adjectives to compare two things. When we have two things, that's when we use a comparative adjective. And in that case, we have what we call the short adjective form. When you say short adjective form, as in the previous level of A2, we say that a short adjective, it's adjective plus ER. Fast is an adjective. Comparative adjective becomes faster. We take that adjective and then we add ER. Tall, taller, small, smaller, big, bigger, large, larger. And you remember we saw the rules of doubling the letters, just adding R only. And when we say a long adjective form, this is made of more than one syllable. If you don't remember how to detect a syllable, you can go back in the A2 lesson about adjectives, comparative adjectives and comparative adverbs, so that you can know a simple meaning of a syllable. But simply a syllable, this is a way we read the word, the sounds that we make. Simply we have what we call the one syllable, which is a word that we pronounce in one sound. Fast, small, tall. Like by a hand clap, it's very easy to detect that. Fast, small, tall, big, short. That's what we call the one syllable. But when you say long adjective, they are made of two or more than two syllables. Like interesting, interesting, 3 syllables. Expensive, 3 syllables. Important, difficult, like that. Long adjective, we just take more plus that adjective when we are comparing. We say more interesting, more expensive. Let's see real life examples. My house is bigger than yours. This book is more interesting than that one. And now let's see superlative adjectives. Superlative adjectives. When we say superlative adjective, we use superlative adjectives to compare 3 or more things. Now we are not talking about 2. No. Now we are on 3, 4, 5, 6 and more than that. That's when we use superlative adjective. We are comparing more than 3 or more things. We compare the short adjectives by taking the plus adjective plus est. When we are making a short superlative adjective, we take the plus that adjective plus est. The fastest, the smallest, the tallest, the biggest, the largest, the youngest, the oldest. When we are forming the long adjectives, when we say long adjectives, but when we are doing superlatives, what do? We take the most plus adjective. The most interesting, the most important, the most annoying, the most amazing, the most frustrating. And in this case, this is where I do a quick recall that when you say short comparative adjective, it is adjective plus er. But when you say short superlative adjective, it is the plus adjective plus est. When we say long comparative adjective, it is more plus that adjective. But the long superlative adjective take the most plus that adjective. faster than, the fastest, smaller than, the smallest, more interesting, the most interesting, more expensive, the most expensive. Let's see a real life example of superlative adjectives. She is the tallest student in the class. This is the most expensive phone in the shop. Let's see irregular adjectives. Remember, we have seen that we have what we call irregular verbs. We have seen that we have regular and irregular verbs. The same with adjectives. We have regular adjectives and irregular adjectives. As you know, for the irregular verbs, they don't have the second form, which is ed. They don't have rules. They just misbehave the way they just want. They just act weird. Just have to keep them on your mind just in a memorized form, because there isn't any other structure which is kind of fixed that you can follow. The same with the irregular adjectives. Some adjectives are irregular, like good, bad, far. Their comparative can say better, good, better, then superlative, the best. We're going to see adjective, comparative, and superlative. Good, better, the best. Bad, worse, the worst. Far, farther, the farthest. You can write farther as AR or UR. The same with the superlative, the farthest. We pronounce them as the same. Let's example. This result is better than the last one. This was the worst day of my life. How about adverbs? Let's first do the reminder about adverbs. Adverbs, they tell us how something happened. Differentiate that from the adjective. Adjective gives us information about the noun. And now the adverb is giving us explanation on how something happened. Something was done or something happened, yes, but how did it happen? She runs, yes, this action of running happens. She does that, yes, but how does she do that? He speaks, yes, but how does he speak? You're going to explain the action, the way the action is done, how the action is done. She runs quickly, he speaks clearly. Many adverbs, they end in ly. Most of them have ly thing. Ly. Let's see now comparative and superlative adverbs. For adverbs, it is very easy. Most adverbs take more plus that adverb for comparative and take the most plus adverb for the superlative. Comparative is more plus adverb and superlative is the most plus that adverb. She works more carefully than before. He drives the most dangerously in the group. When you say irregular adverbs now, remember the adjective is good and the adverb is well. And here the adjective is bad, the adverb is badly. Take a note of that. So let's see adverb, comparative, and superlative. Well, better, the best. Bad, worse, the worst. Let's see comparison between adjective and adverbs. We say adjective, they describe a noun, but adverbs, they describe a verb. When we say a fast car, we are talking about the car, which is a noun. When we say runs fast, we are talking about how the action is done. Careful student works carefully. When we say careful student, we are talking about a student, which is a noun. Works carefully, we're talking about the verb to work, the action. He is a careful driver, but he drives carefully. When we say he is a careful driver, we are talking about a person. He is a careful driver. We are talking about this guy. He drives carefully. We are talking about how the action is done. How he drives carefully. Now here we are going to fill in the blanks. You are going to complete the sentence with the correct comparative or superlative form. If it is either adjective or adverb, just do the correct uh, comparative or superlative form. My house is dash dash than yours. This is the dash dash book I have read. She works dash dash than her sister. This exercise is the dash dash in the test. He arrived dash dash than me. You're going to choose if it is a comparative or superlative. You're going to fill in the blanks here. Today is dash dash than yesterday. This student writes the dash dash in the class. My exam result is dash dash than last time. This road is the dash dash in the city. She speaks English dash dash than before. Here you're going to correct the mistake. You're going to rewrite the sentence correctly. It's wrong, then you just write it in a correct manner. This phone is more cheaper than mine. She sings more beautifully than everyone. He did the exam more bad than me. And correct the mistake here too. You write the sentence correctly. This is the most easiest question. He drives very good. My brother is tallest than me. You're going to correct the mistake. It is very, very wrong. Just do the right thing and then make a good one out of it. Here you're going to choose the correct answer. The exercise is dash dash than the last one. You're going to choose between the given ones. She runs dash dash than her friend. He answered the question dash dash of all students. As to this quiz, you're going to write the correct form. The test is dash dash than the last one. She is the dash dash student in the class. He works dash dash than before. This is the dash dash result this year. She explained the lesson dash dash of all. You're going to see from the given brackets, then you make the appropriate and right answer to that. I say thank you. Ciao, ciao. See you in the next lesson.